Rescuers have broken through to 41 workers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand state of India since 12th of November. The men became stuck after a landslide nearby brought down a mountain of debris and none are thought to be injured. Also in this edition of Kantipur News, we have updates about the truce extension between Israel and Hamas and previews of the UEFA Champions League matches. Good evening, I'm Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Ministers for Internal Affairs of all 7 provinces in Kathmandu demand Federal Police Act at the earliest, say absence of Act has made it difficult to ensure peace and security. Local residents of Sunwal in West Nawalparasi agitated because of pollution caused by sugar mills, alleged sugar mills of ignoring last year's agreement. Rescuers break through to 41 workers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand state of India since 12th of November. Family members excited at the rescue site outside the tunnel. And Sudur Pashchim province defeat Nepal police by 4 wickets in KP Oli Cup T20 cricket tournament. Defeat of police sees Madhesh province qualify for semi-finals. Minister for Internal Affairs of all 7 provinces have demanded management of police department with the federal government. They have demanded the implementation of rights ensured by the Constitution of Nepal. Home ministers of all 7 provinces are in Kathmandu to draw the attention of the federal government in this regard. Despite the lapse of almost a year since the establishment of 3 tiers of federalism in the country, province police is yet to be formed. The province governments have their grievances regarding hesitation of the federal government to implement the Police Adjustment Act, which was certified by the President on 11 February 2020. Citing failure in strengthening peace and security in absence of province police, Madhesh province, which had declared protest against the federal government, has already filed 2 cases at the Supreme Court. Prior to this, Madhesh Province Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav had met with the Prime Minister on 9th of November and warned of phase-wise protest if the right provision by the Constitution was not implemented within a month. A dialogue has been held between Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and Chairperson of the main opposition, CPN-UML, KP Sharma Oli. The Prime Minister's Secretariat has said that the dialogue, which was held at Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar, lasted for half an hour. Sources have said that the dialogue between the 2 leaders dwelled on the recent political developments and contemporary issues. CPN-UML Chair Oli had reached Singha Darbar after being summoned by the Premier. Premier Dahal had postponed the meeting with Home Ministers of all 7 provinces to hold the dialogue with CPN-UML Chair Oli. Itahari Sub-Metropolis of Sunari has begun training of the recruited municipal police personnel. The Sub-Metropolis has appointed the municipal police based on the right ensured to the local levels by the Constitution of Nepal. A total of 36 personnel of 5 ranks of the municipal police are participating in the training. Despite calling for recruitment of the municipal police a year ago, the Sub-Metropolis was not able to provide training because of the delay in formulation of Act. It has been 6 years since the province structure was established in Nepal. However, problems still exist in the implementation of federalism due to the lack of necessary laws and infrastructures. There is a provision of the Inter-Province Council as per Article 234 of the Constitution. The Inter-Province Council, which is led by the Prime Minister, was established to resolve political disputes between the federal and provincial governments as well as between provinces. The Federal Home Minister, Finance Minister and the Chief Ministers of all the 7 provinces are in the Inter-Province Council. However, the Council has failed to hold a meeting since more than 4 years, saying that the Prime Minister had ignored the issue at a time when inter-disputes between the federal and provincial governments had increased. The Chief Ministers even held a meeting of the Provincial Coordination Council in Pokhara. At the meeting, Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal assured of formulating required laws, carrying out police adjustment, among other issues. However, the provinces said the assurances have not been fulfilled and complained that they have not been able to receive the land ownership of government land, have to rely on the federal government for the distribution of revenue, are facing difficulty to carry out works due to inadequate number of staff, among others. As the relation between the federal and provincial governments grew sour, the dispute even reached the Supreme Court. There is no alternative for a powerful mechanism like the Inter-Province Council to operate effectively to have smooth relations between the federal and provincial governments as well as the provinces. The local residents of Sunwal in Nawalparasi West have staged a protest saying that Lumbini Sugar Mill has made no efforts in controlling pollution emitted by the factory. The local residents have become agitated after the authorities of the sugar factory disregarded several requests made by them to keep pollution under check. Secretary of the Lumbini Sugar Mill Pollution Control Struggle Committee said that a 4-point agreement which was signed between the local residents and the factory operators last year to reduce pollution has yet to be implemented. The locals had padlocked and held demonstrations for 3 days last year as well. They have become agitated with the foul smell and pollution released by the factory. Operator of Lumbini Sugar Factory, Dhananjay Mishra, said that efforts were underway to address the issue and that equipment will be installed within a few months to control pollution. The sugar mill had been leased to Agrawal Group of Companies in the fiscal year 2062 at an annual charge of 4,212,000 rupees. 17 earthquake victims in Jajarkot have lost their lives so far after the disaster on 3rd of November. Police have said that majority of the deceased were senior citizens and had died due to old age. Lactating women, children and senior citizens have been the worst affected. The number of individuals reporting health issues including flu, pneumonia and asthma have been increasing amid lack of proper food, shelter and treatment. The victims have been facing difficulty due to lack of access to proper health care. The price of gold has reached a record high of 117,700 rupees per tola in the international market. The increase in price of gold in the international market has affected the Nepali market as well. According to the Nepal Gold and Silver Dealers Association, the price of 24-carat gold has reached 117,700 rupees per tola today, while that of 22-carat gold has been recorded at 117,150 rupees. The price of gold had been recorded 116,450 rupees on 29th of October. Since then, a continuous fall in the price of gold has been recorded. Meanwhile, the price of silver per tola has reached 1,050 rupees today. Paddy production has declined in Palpa this year in relative comparison to last year. Paddy was planted over 8,210 hectares of land last year, while this year the area was reduced to 7,390 hectares. According to the Agriculture Knowledge Center Palpa, the area of paddy plantation had reduced because of delay in rainfall, migration and lack of human resource. Another major challenge was lack of irrigation facility. Until 4 years ago, paddy was planted over 8,620 hectares of land. However, the area has been continuously declining since then. Sanguri Gadi Rural Municipality of Thankuta has implemented time card system in the Namje Okhare section of Bhedetar Ravi Rake Road. The time card system has been integrated considering the undergoing upgrading works of the 100-kilometer section connecting Bhedetar of Thankuta to Ravi Rake of Panchthar. According to the rural municipality, commute of vehicles has been halted for 13 hours on a daily basis for construction works in the Namje Okhare section. Based on the agreement, the upgrade work of Bhedetar Ravi Rake section being carried out at 3.65 billion rupees, subsidized loan from the Axim Bank Exim Bank of India must be concluded by next mid of September. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse, brought to you by Prabhu Bank, risen for your success. Sundarta ka lagi Rose Face Soap, Uniglobe SS and College, Kamladi, Kathmandu.
Here's the question: why have employers not shown interest in being listed in the Social Security Fund? The options are A, fear of increase in responsibility, B, insensitive towards employees, and C, not a mandatory provision. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Rescuers say they have broken through to 41 workers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand state since 12th of November. Some ambulances were seen reversing into the entrance of the tunnel as rescuers brought in equipment, while more ambulances and emergency vehicles waited outside. The men became stuck after a landslide nearby brought down a mountain of debris. None are thought injured. They will now be extracted one by one via a 90-centimeter diameter pipe inserted through the rubble of the collapsed tunnel. Having to cut through metal rods has repeatedly impeded the rescue, and loose soil and hard rock have slowed progress. Last Friday, officials said the workers would be out in a matter of hours until a giant drill broke down inside the tunnel. Authorities have been supplying the men with oxygen, food and water through a separate narrow pipe. Trucks with humanitarian aid materials were waiting at the Egyptian side of the Rafah crossing yesterday to enter the war-torn Gaza Strip, as Qatari officials announced earlier on the day that Israel and Hamas had agreed to extend their truce in the Gaza Strip for an additional 2 days. Since the first convoy with humanitarian aid materials went through the Rafah crossing on 21st of October, the border crossing has been playing a crucial role in evacuation and delivery of humanitarian aid after the latest round of Israel-Palestine conflict plunged more than 2 million people in Gaza into a humanitarian crisis. The only crossing between Egypt and the Gaza Strip has also become a life passage for the Gazans trapped in the besieged enclave. Trucks carrying humanitarian aid have to go through checks before entering the Gaza Strip. Even more trucks loaded with fuel entered Gaza from Egypt yesterday, and some vehicles loaded with other supplies also passed the crossing. In addition, in the past 3 days, wounded people from Gaza can enter Egypt through the Rafah crossing for treatment every day. Some of the hostages released by Hamas were transferred to Israel after arriving at the Rafah crossing. Iran called for a permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip yesterday as the 4-day truce between Hamas and Israel entered its final day. At a press briefing in Tehran, Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Nasser Kanani demanded an end of the ongoing conflict, highlighting his country's diplomatic efforts to seek an extension of the ceasefire agreement, which was set to end early Tuesday. Regarding recent attacks on U.S. military bases in the Middle East, Kanani firmly denied Iran's involvement and criticized the U.S. military presence in the region as a threat to regional peace and stability. Toxic smog engulfed Lahore as Pakistan's second largest city topped the list of the world's most polluted cities for the third day today. The city held the top spot on a real-time list of the world's most polluted cities with an air quality index of 324 around 2 p.m. local time, according to Swiss group IQ Air, which categorized the air quality as hazardous. Smog was also visible in Karachi, which was ranked the world's second most polluted city. An AQI between 101 and 200 is considered unhealthy, particularly for sensitive groups, while an AQI between 201 and 300 is said to be very unhealthy and above 300 is hazardous. The state government of Pakistan's Punjab has attributed the pollution to rubble being burnt in neighboring country, India, and said cloud seeding plans to introduce rain that could disperse smog and haze were underway. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Ministers for Internal Affairs of all 7 provinces in Kathmandu demand Federal Police Act at the earliest, say absence of Act has made it difficult to ensure peace and security. Local residents of Sunwal in West Nawalparasi agitated because of pollution caused by sugar mills, alleged sugar mills of ignoring last year's agreement. Rescuers break through to 41 workers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand state of India since 12th of November. Family members excited at the rescue site outside the tunnel. And Suri Pashchim province defeat Nepal police by 4 wickets in KP Oli Cup T20 cricket tournament. Defeat of police sees Madhesh province qualify for semi-finals. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.